What's going on, guys? NealGuides here. Welcome back to another video. Now in today's video we have a 100k Ligue 1 or League 1 or Uber Eats League team. Now obviously we're going to go with a 4-3-3. Now prices have obviously come crashing down, so what you can now buy before what you could buy before, you can actually buy even more for. So the first person we're going to go with is Ben Yedder, of course. Marksman striker, we need someone that can play in the team, someone's got a 5-star weak foot, and of course Ben Yedder fits that role perfectly well. Amazingly good pace, shooting and dribbling when you put a hunter on him. Now of course you can buy him with a hunter for around about 10k, so 10% of the team value is going to go to a striker, and honestly he's one of the most underrated strikers in the game. Now keeping it within League 1, we've gone with a left wing, we've gone with Bambang. Now I actually have Bambang in my team. He's actually a very good card. Now you can use an engine on him or a hunter. You can use either one. I'd recommend an engine though to improve that agility and balance, but if you are going to play him in a second striker role or as in a cam role, you can put a hunter on him as well and he becomes another good card. Now going over to the right wing, there isn't that many options. We ended up going for Gelson Martins just because in terms of right wingers, especially in Ligue 1, there isn't that many players. Even in the left wingers being off chemistry on the right wingers, there's not that many players, but Gelson Martins, the reason why he stands out is because he has that stamina and of course he has that 5-star weak foot, so he's very deadly on the wing, but also he has that amazing 94 sprint speed and pace, and of course that very high agility and balance to make a perfect winger or a wide cam. Now moving over to midfield, now we ended up going with Depay because how can you not have Depay in your team? A very good card, 5-star skill moves as well. Does have a 3-star weak foot, but as a cam position or even as a wide play, he's actually very good. So you can put a hunter on him as well, and that way he can play as a second striker or a centre forward or even play on the wing. We move over to the two centre mids. Now there isn't that much variety, I would say. You know, you have the players like Renato Sanchez who are exceptionally good, but obviously they're out of our budget. So to find someone who's actually decently available, and obviously Mollet is obviously an SPC card. You have Draxler and you have Andre, which are too expensive, and you have Renato Sanchez. Now on the cheaper end, you do have Sanson. That's who we went with, Sanson, in the end, because his actual base card is actually not too bad, but once you put the inform variation on, it actually becomes a pretty decent card. I would say I recommend putting a shadow on him, just because you can play him as a defensive mid. You know, high work rate, 4-star, a top tier player, 29,000, and of course it is UCL live card, so of course there is also a chance of retaining that value there as well. Moving over to the other centre mid, again, there isn't a dedicated defensive mid in. You have Idrissa Gana Gueye, but Idrissa Gana Gueye, the issue is he's too slow, and that's why it's not worth playing him in the team. If you really want to, you can put Idrissa Gana Gueye in, and you can put a shadow on him, but I think he's too slow at 80 sprint speed. I have two options. You have obviously Lise Melou, which is the first card. I think he's a good card, but he does like the defensive ability, so you can use Sanson as a defensive player and Lise Melou as going attacking. But I think Renato Sanchez, he fits that role very well. And obviously you can't afford his inform card, that's around 200k, twice the price of the team. But I do think his card is exceptionally good, one of the top tier cards in the game. But his gold card is not as good as his inform, there's no doubt about that, but he is somewhat near about it. So you can put Renato Sanchez as kind of a attacking midfielder, and you have Sanson, the more defensive variation. Now going over to the left back, we have Camaro, one of the best left backs you can get in the game for a budget. A very underrated card. There is also the record break, which goes for 50k, but this card is exceptionally good, especially for Ligue 1, because once you put an anchor on him, he becomes a very viable card. Very good agility and balance and good strength. The only downside is he is 5'6". Now the reason why this is fine is most crosses, I would say, are either chest height or I would say feet height or knee height. Very rarely you'll see a cross going above a player's head or head height. So most crosses are driven crosses, so there's no real reason to get someone that's very tall. And at the end of the day, someone who's faster will save you more times than someone, for example, who's got very good tall height. Now there is another card that if you have the Bernat card, you can use that Bernat left back card, the objective card, but that's only if you have that card, and you can, if you want, put a shadow on him, and it actually becomes very much viable, but only if you have that card. Where I know not everyone has done objective card. 3-star, 4-star, not the best, but of course overall he is a better card. Now moving over to the centre backs. Now this is the issue. You have defenders like Marquinhos, players like Kimpembe who are decently good. Then you have players like Denayer that are decent, but they're too much above budget. Now if you have the coins, I would say try to go for Denayer. If not, I would say just go for Denayer in form. Denayer in form is actually a pretty decent card. There isn't that many other options. Denayer in form is a good card. I think he's exceptionally good for his price. It does push the team at a very, very high price at 90k so far, leaving us only 10k spare for the rest of the team. But I think if you put a shadow on him, he becomes an exceptionally good card because he's already got naturally that good sprint speed. You just want to max out that stand tackling and sprint speed. So stand tackling, slide liking, and of course defensive interceptions and defensive awareness are all at a decent rate, and of course he has the physicality. So another top tier card that you can use instead. Now next we've also gone with Kimpembe. Now Kimpembe, another top tier card. There's two options. You can either go with, so there's two options. You can either go with Kimpembe, who I think is actually a very decent card. There is you have the Diallo, which is the only other card, and Marquinhos. Now Marquinhos, in my opinion, is too slow. If you compare Marquinhos and Kimpembe, the only thing that's really in between them is that Marquinhos is a bit on the slow side compared to Kimpembe. Now, it's not by much, but it is by a little bit. And of course, the other thing is Marquinhos is a bit taller. So it's up to you which one you want to use. Now, I've used Kimpembe. I prefer Kimpembe. But if you want, you can equally use Marquinhos or Kimpembe. Or you can use Diallo. Now, Diallo is a more cheaper card, but you can get the job done. So if you want, I would recommend going with Marquinhos. That does push it to 102k. But of course it's very acceptable for the price. Now going over to the right back, there is only really one right back here that's in contention. It's Atal. There isn't anyone else in Ligue 1 for right back, in all honesty. You do have the other card, you do have Lala and Florenzi, but they're a tad bit too slow, and that is why you're kind of stuck for choice. Now obviously the other ones are too expensive, so you're only kind of stuck with Atal. Atal obviously is really good. Of course, he's a 5-star weak foot, which makes him even better. So you can actually play him as a centre mid. But with the anchor card, I think he's actually a very good right back. Obviously, going forward and going backwards. And to finish off with the goalkeeper, now we've gone with Mandanda just because of the price. But if you have the money, I would say definitely go with Diego Lopez. So how does this really look in game now? If you're going to be playing a 4-2-3-1, I would say probably either Depay or Bambang in, I'll say, the Camaro, and Ben Yedder in striker, Sanchez, Renato and back, and the back four like so. And of course, if you do prefer the pace, you can go with Diallo if you really want to. If you're going to be playing a 4-4-2, then you can have Yedder. Now, who I'd have in striker next one is a bit debatable. I think it's better having Depay to see if that 5-star weak foot, 5-star skill move, should I say, but you're 5-star weak foot and 5-star skill move. So you got kind of a balance of one player can do skill moves and one's got a 5-star weak foot. So you kind of got a good balance of two players with two different varieties up front. The exact same thing. Sanson maybe on balance, and maybe also Sanchez on stay back while attacking. I prefer Sanson going forward because he's got better shooting, but otherwise he can also sit deep as well. If we're playing a 4-1-2-1-2 second variation, it's the exact same thing. Bamba being the cam, and what I'll do is I'll put Renato Sanchez as a centre mid or even a CDM, and then Gelson Martins can play as that winger. Now, if you don't like Gelson Martins playing that role in, I suppose you can say, that centre mid-esque role, you can get someone like Thauvin. Thauvin is a good card that can play that midfield role. There isn't anyone really else, as you can see. You do have Sarabia, but he's too slow, and Di Maria is too expensive. So you can get Thauvin. That way you can play that kind of centre mid attacking role if you are going to be playing a 4-1-2-1-2. If you're going to be playing my 3-5-2, I wouldn't really suggest it too much, but I think with a 3-5-2, there is the option there with a 3-5-2, and if you really want to play, you have Yedder, Bamba, and what I would say is the problem is with the person on the wing. You have one side is that you have Gelson Martins, who's got really good pace. Get rid of Thauvin for a second, put Gelson Martinez on. The only issue is who goes to that left back, left mid role. Now I've gone with Camaro, 84 stamina. I think you can get the job done. Leave it like this. And in my opinion, you cannot play Marquinhos. He is way too slow for a 3-5-2. So you got a bit of an option now. As I said, in actual defensive league, there isn't really that many good options. You do have Bernat, which is not that bad, and you do have a Mavi. So you can play a player off chemistry if you really want to, or you can go with someone like Lala or Traore, and that way you can play something like that, or even Florenzi, play Denayer in the middle, and have Atal and Florenzi on either side, and that when you attack, same specific system. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Take it easy. Hope you enjoyed the videos. Of course, this is a 100k Ligue 1 team. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.